I'm Total here, and today we've got a 7-year disaster battle. I know it doesn't quite look like it, but it kind of is. The player, as Marathi, on very hard difficulty, has ambushed Alith Anar, so he's ambushed the ambusher. But, even though we've got the ambush, we've got the jump on them, we actually don't have, like, a massive advantage, even though he's also on force march. This is actually going to be a difficult battle to win, as the guy who was sent it in has said, that he's tried to do it a couple of times and has not been able to succeed. It's actually very difficult. Now, there's a number of reasons why that might be. For one thing, ambush isn't always an automatic win if you ambush the enemy. You have to look at it in terms of whether or not your army is suitable for ambushing and whether or not the enemy is suitable for being ambushed. So, generally speaking, the armies that are most vulnerable to ambush are slow-moving, archer-based artillery armies. Those are the ones that really want to avoid getting ambushed. So, for example, the Empire is usually really susceptible to getting ambushed because they usually carry, Hellstorm rocket batteries, that kind of stuff. High-powered units that do the bulk of the damage that just get no opportunity to shoot. So, ambushing the Empire is usually really good. Now, High Elves are usually pretty susceptible to being ambushed, with the exception of Shadow Walkers, which is what the majority of this army is. Now, even though they're on force march, they'll probably still be faster than our Dread Spears. And they can fire whilst moving in a 180-degree circle. Sorry, 360-degree circle. So, they'll be able to fire while we're approaching them. And maybe even avoid us. So, that'll lose our tactical advantage. The big thing here is that he is actually on force march. Now, I definitely don't think this battle is like, not winnable. But it's not as easy as it might look. And of course, the best armies for ambushing are fast-moving, high melee damage armies. Lizardmen, generally speaking, are quite good at ambushing when they've got like loads of carnosaurs and things like that. Norsca is very good at ambushing because of their fast-moving units and basically no missile units. Alright, now there's multiple ways you can go about an ambush such as this. You can set all your units up in one side and just basically treat it like a normal battle. I don't think that's what we should be doing because they'll outrange us. What we should be doing is a 3-pronged pincer. And even if we do this, I still think we're going to take a lot of damage. Look at the bounce of power there, okay? So the auto-resolver gave us the advantage because it's an ambush. Now, the way the auto-resolver works, the auto-resolver is not a clear indication of how good your chances are in battle. We've seen so many times that it's all in the red and I don't stand a chance, and yet I win. And I've said before, I've seen times when the auto-resolver is somewhat in my favor, and I had a really hard time with it because the auto-resolver doesn't take a lot of things into consideration. It doesn't take into consideration tactical advantages. It just takes into account strength and also situation. So, for example, the ambusher always gets an auto-resolve bonus. The defender of a siege always gets an auto-resolve bonus, even if they are garbage at defending sieges. For example, vampire counts. Vampire counts are the worst defenders of sieges in the game, and the auto-resolver will oftentimes make it seem like they've got a really good chance, but they're the worst defenders. Anyway, so you've got to take that stuff into consideration, that's all I'm saying. Alright, so it's fairly early in the game. I think it's like turn 24. So Marathi's not super high leveled. What I want to do... Okay, so here's the 3-pronged. Basically, these guys come in charge in here. We know the Shadow Walkers are here, because you can tell there's units here and a unit there. There must be troops in between. These guys here will move forward. Their job is to shoot the Shadow Walkers, because like in an actual skirmish, Dark Shards are better than Shadow Walkers if you take out the range advantage. Like, Shadow Walkers will beat Dark Shards if they can stay out of range. That's why we try to push them into range with them here. That's the main goal. If we can keep them in melee, like these guys here are not damage dealers. Their job is to just tie down the enemy units. And have the Dark Shards do all the real... Dark Shards are really good damage dealers, but they just lack range. That's their biggest problem. The artillery, they'll just shoot into the biggest blobs. This is not the best place... Not the ideal place to put them, because there's trees in the way. That means a lot of shots are going to be obstructed, but I can't see any other really good place. If we put them back here, we're just going to be hitting our own men because of the pincer. If I put them over here, the eagle's probably going to stop them. Plus, they'll be on the low ground. It seems like this here might be the best place. If I put them over here, they're probably not even going to be able to reach. So they need to be within range. I don't have time to reposition them after the start of the battle. And then the War Hydra needs to get into combat, use this as quickly as possible, and then we need to try and take out Alith Anar as quickly as possible. So we'll do a gamble. Hopefully we'll get some Winds of Magic. And we did. Great. Alright. Let's go quickly. Not move in too much. Maybe try and shoot the white lines of trace there. Now, this is another good thing about ambushes. Generally speaking, they do this sort of blob up thing. Which works out really nicely for us. Sometimes. Alright, yeah, take that out. It's good that they're blobbed up like this, because it'll obstruct some of their shots. Keep them moving. Actually, you know what? We don't really need to worry too much about this over here, so don't worry about them. But yeah, stop. You'll never catch them. Just send one guy to get. No, you'll just never catch him. Just stay there. All right. So he's done that ability. Let's just. We're not really gonna do anything to him right there. Right now, so just wait until that expires, and then we'll see. Yeah, just like I said, we're never, even though they're on force march, you're just not gonna catch them. All right, back in over there, take him out. Alright, let's get the Dark Shards over here, shoot the White Lines of Trace. Like I said, like chasing after them would just be utterly pointless. If anything, we should try to move them back over here and have the artillery move a little bit forward so they can shoot them. We tried to pincer them, but you know, not an easy unit to pincer without cavalry. I need you to be taking out Alith Anar. There we go. Shoot. It's the only unit we've got that'll outrange them. If we chase after them, like I said, we're just not going to catch them. We've got no fast units, don't even bother. Come on, Slowpoke, get over there.
Come with me.
Alright, Bouncer Power's in our favour. That's good. I really want this Hydra to be chasing after Alith Anar, but Alith Anar seems to be being beaten by him, so I guess that's okay.
My revenge comes.
They're on force march, so if the unit's shattered, that's good enough. Get them back over here. We don't want them getting shot by the Shadow Walkers. Keep that one out, otherwise it's going to get wiped out. If they're shattered, don't worry about them. Oh, they did that thing again. Well, we know which one Alith Anar is. It's the more damaged one. Get him out of there. Okay, now move them down here a little bit. Alright, there's the army loss penalty. Now, you were never going to walk out of that battle with no casualties, but none of our units got wiped out. One of our units routed, but I don't think he's dead. So, all of that's worked out reasonably well there. Big victory maybe, but I think you're in your own territory. hoping you're in own territory. Anyway, Alith Anar is completely wiped out now. So that battle's won. But yeah. Generally speaking, I probably don't want too many more of these kind of disasters. They're just not super interesting. So I've been rejecting a lot of disasters lately, and if you do send me a disaster and I reject it, you know, just keep in mind that I do get sent in a lot of disasters, and I really do try to just do the best ones, and some people, they run into a roadblock that just isn't that much of a roadblock, and then they immediately panic and send me a save file, and I don't really want people to be doing that. Absolutely send me a save file if you feel like you're just at your wit's end and you just can't beat a certain situation. But if you're playing on a lower difficulty and you're fighting a battle with the balance of powers roughly in the middle, and you're just like, oh, I'll just send a legend to do it, I'm just going to reject it, because it just comes across as lazy to me, and there's better save files out there to sort out. Anyway, that's the end of this particular disaster. I don't see the need to keep going. Yeah, I'll give you extra replenishment. Because, yeah, you should be fine. Anyway, that's the end of this one, and I'll see you next time, fuckers.